Welcome guys to another review video. We got another power station here to try out. I'll try and keep this real fast paced, but this is made by ZENDURE and it's their Superbase Pro 2000. This has got a NMC battery in there, lithium nickel manganese cobalt, which is the first time I've seen that in one of these. So we're going to just go ahead and pop it on out of the box, talk about a few of the specs, and try it out. And it comes with a bag around it in case it gets left out front when delivered. It doesn't get soaking wet. Here's a first glance. You get some heavy duty wheels for rolling it around, and then a handle that pops up. Or grab it by the handle. This weighs 46.5 pounds and it measures around 17.5 by 13.5 up to the top of the handle and 10.5 deep. It's all plastic on it, but seems pretty heavy duty and well made. You notice on the front it's got like a pattern on it, and then this screen, nice display on there. Also in the box you get this little case, which I assume are the cables we're going to need. There's a look inside. And you get some ZENDURE stickers, 1.21 gigawatts, a 24-month warranty card, and this is the owner's manual. Very fine print, but I'll try to plug some images of this at the end of the video if you guys want to read through. You've got the AC charge cable, MC4 solar charge cable, and then this guy, which is very interesting. It's also a solar MC4 charger, but it goes into the AC input on it. So that's the first time I've seen that before. You also get this little guy for converting the USB-C to USB-A, because you can see there are no USB-A or the old school standard USB ports on it. So this has got a 2000 watt pure sine wave inverter, 4000 watt peak, and you see it has the 6 outlets on the side. They do have the amp up feature though, where you can lower the voltage, boost up the amperage in case you want to run a really high output device like a toaster or something, but you wouldn't want to run anything that has say a microprocessor or a compressor in it, because you can cause damage with that. For the DC output, you get twin 100 watt USB-C, twin 20 watters, and then 3 of the barrel type. These are rated at a total 136 watts total, so that's, I think it's 13.8 volts at 10 amps is what that is. And then you also get a cigarette lighter style one on the side. I like to see that they included that. A lot of time they don't, it'll just be they give you an adapter to be able to convert these over to the cigarette lighter style. Over on the other side you have your inputs. So you can do 120 volts at 15 amps with the standard cable. That's 1800 watts of charging. And then on DC, it can take solar from 12 to 60 volts at 10 amps max. It's got a 20 amp circuit breaker on there too. But the neat and unique thing about this one is you can do dual charging, so be powering it by AC 1800 watts plus another 600 watts DC solar panel going in, for a total of 2400 watts charging, which I'm told will take this from 0 to full in less than an hour. Let's go ahead and do the initial fire up. I don't know if it's a short press or a long press on here. Well, it seems to be dead out of the box, which I'll say is the first time I've ever seen that. Now, you should always fully charge one of these before using it anyway when you get it, but usually you can fire it up and they have some kind of charge. So let's plug this in. I might add it is cold in the garage right now, about 40 degrees. I'll plug that in and see what it does. Let's hold the power button. Now I heard a click. Fan come on. And it's showing, I guess that's 0%. It's inputting only 148 watts right now, showing a charge time of 9 hours, but that might be just because the battery's so cold and low. Well, I'll give it a few minutes and see what happens. So the screen does time out every 30 seconds, like you saw it just do there, and then turn it back on. You just have to hit that, and then you get 30 seconds, or you can turn it off and leave it off too. I guess they just do that to conserve energy. I just set my timer. I'll come back in about an hour, give or take. But I'm also going to turn the AC outlet and DC outlet on, because I'm curious to see if those time out. You see when DC, that little symbol comes up, and on AC you get the plug, it shows 60 hertz. I'll come back in a little bit. 1 hour later, let's check on this. You hear the fans have kicked on, slightly warm coming out of that side. Both the AC and the DC have stayed on, even though there's no loads being pulled. And wow, we're up to 67% and showing a recharge time of 35 minutes now. Pushing 1154 watts, so that's good. I pretty much left these on just to see if they time out prematurely. You hear the fan kicked up a little bit, and now the input went up to 1780. So it probably would have charged even faster than that. I'll let you know how long it takes to get up to that full 100%. I'll come back and check in 20 minutes because you can see turning those off dropped it down to only 22 minutes recharge time. 20 minutes later, she's still charging. What do we got? 92%. Still 7 minutes. So that 23-minute time it showed wasn't accurate. I'll come back and check. 10 minutes later, we're up to 100%, but still pushing 1,000 watts in. So I'll let that keep going until it's fully charged. 10 more minutes, and I suppose we'll call that fully charged. Still around 40-something watts. Overall, pretty fast charge time, and it never did get warm whatsoever. You see that's jumped back up to 200 watts. It's just kind of like fluctuating back and forth. I'm sure it'll shut off here in a second. The fan is still on a little bit as well. We'll see if that shuts off completely or not. We are now 24 hours later, and you can see that the input is still 25 watts. You know that little blue indicator? The fan is still idling. And I'm assuming maybe that's the 25 watts is the fan, but I'm going to now unplug it from the wall power, and we'll see what it does if the fan shuts off. Okay, so the input did go down to 0 now. So that's new to me. Most of the power banks I've charged, once they're fully charged, the fan shuts off and they're done. And with it unplugged, the fan is still idling, and you don't see any wattages on here. So of course that's draining the battery right now. I want to make sure that goes ahead and shuts off. Well, let's go ahead and try out this AC inverter and put a big load on it. This hair dryer on the high should be around 1,500 watts or so. As soon as I turn the AC inverter on, I do hear the fans kick on immediately. So let's put this on high. That's 1,350 watts, showing 1.6 hour runtime. I don't think that's going to be enough, so let's bring the heat gun into the equation. All right, now we should be able to show an overload right now, and we'll see how long it holds. That's 2,500 watts. So boom, okay, that just tripped the breaker. You hear the fans running on it too. Of course, this screen keeps timing out, which I hate that it does that. I'd automatically reset the breaker. I didn't have to do anything. As soon as I turned the screen on, it worked. Now the timer has officially started, and I've got it at 1,985 watts, showing 1 hour. Let's see how long it can actually run these loads for. I'm using all three of these together to get that big load on it, and I mostly want to make sure that it doesn't overheat or get hot or melt or catch on fire, any of the above. We're now at the 45-minute mark, showing 18%, 10 minutes left, and checking a few temperatures. Case is around 89 degrees, so just slightly warm. And inside, the highest I can find is right there, 113.5 degrees. Oh yeah, fan's on though. It's blowing out just warm here. There it is, time. 58.5 minutes. That's really pretty decent. Hear that fan still going, and it's not any warmer. That's actually way better than I've seen any of the other ones I've tested. Usually they're like more around 75%. You gotta remember, it's producing all this heat with the inverter and the fans going, so you're never gonna get full efficiency out of it. So we passed that test, but now let's go right to charging it all the way back up and make sure it doesn't overheat, and it does it in a timely fashion. Oh, can't do it. It started charging, but then it turned it off and it's flashing over temp. So that's pretty normal though. I mean, you don't really want to run these all the way down and then put it on charge immediately. So it's, that kick the fan back on, it's warm air coming out. It'll probably start charging on its own though. I'll let you know. Well, it's been sitting for a half hour and still flashing over temp. It's ice cold coming out. Nothing's warm at all. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug this, and maybe you're going to have to give it a little assistance. Start it back up. Same deal, still flashing over temp. So I'm gonna just shut this down for, I don't know, 20 minutes and we'll come back. I came back out in 20-minute intervals, and it took a full hour to cool back down to where we can charge this battery. So that's something to note if you plan on pulling a huge load through this and then recharge it immediately. You're definitely gonna have to wait for it to cool down. So now I got it plugged in, and we'll let this charge back up. It's showing us a charge time of roughly 7 hours, which again, you could decrease that if you hooked up solar or other DC charging at the same time. Next morning, 8 hours later, and we should be fully charged indeed, but still pulling that 20 watts that will stay consistent until you shut it down. We're now a week later, and I've had a chance to power this down and up several times. Haven't had any issues. I did use the USB-Cs. These two fast charge up to 100 watts, and these ones 20 watts. So no issues I found. I did want to show you the app. So download the ZENDURE app. You do need internet access to get this thing connected, but once you have it fully connected, this is actually has a 4G network built into it. It's connected to AT&T towers. And the neat thing is I have my Wi-Fi and Bluetooth turned off. As long as I have internet access, I can see what's going on with this unit. It actually works pretty quick too. Right here, we can turn the AC inverter on. Oh, I didn't hit that. And you see, boom, that went through a 4G network to turn it on. I spent a good amount of time messing around with the app, and you definitely have all sorts of options. You can also go into function and do quiet charging mode, where it doesn't use the fans and it just lowers the input. And then you can do that amp up mode that I was talking about before. So I do wish you could use these features without downloading the app, because some people don't have internet access nearby or want this thing connected to the internet. So all that's pretty neat if you like the technology, and it works very well. So at this point, I'm ready to conclude. Definitely a giant thumbs up for the ZENDURE Superbase Pro 2000. Haven't had any issues, and it has a lot more features than, say, my Blue Eddy 2000. If you're looking for all the bells and whistles, this is definitely something to consider. I love that it has the wheels and the pull-out handle along with the carry handle. It's really kind of a great package, and only time will tell how well it holds up. So if you want to know that, stay tuned in the comments. I'll certainly update any questions you guys might have in the future, and I will drop a link to this down below. So if you want to check that out. Otherwise, many more reviews to come, more adventure to come. So appreciate you guys tuning in, and now let's jump over to these owner's manuals. So again, I showed you they give you this sticker booklet if you like stickers. And then here's the main owner's manual. It's not very comprehensive, but I'll kind of just, again, it has fine print. So if you want to pause and zoom in on any of that, I'll just go like this. And we didn't hook, I can get a couple pages at once. We didn't hook solar panels up, but that's usually I only do that if they send the solar panels with it. There's some of the specs. Of course, you can hook pretty much any panel up because it says the MTTP or MPPT. I always forget. I get it confused, guys. Multi-voltage. It can take multi-voltage. I don't think anybody's going to be reading this anyway, but if you have to. See, I spilled some stuff on it. And then here's a glance at the warranty, 24-month. It's all dirty because it's been sitting in the garage for a couple weeks now. Cool. Hopefully that is helpful to you.